Assalamu alaikum. As you know, the country that everyone hates is killing Palestinians right now, and Muslims, as usual, are completely confused as to what they can do. One, don't just do dua. Now I know some colonized, apolitical, practicing Muslim is screaming at the computer screen right now, hearing me say that and shouting, as they always do, but dua is the best weapon of the believer, and astaghfirullah and mashallah until they're red in the face. But let me stop you there. I'll answer them in this simple way. If your dua is so powerful, then okay, do it right now and let's see if it stops the bombing on the Palestinians and the murder of their children. Still waiting. Still nothing. They're still being bombed. They're still dead. What went wrong? Since you're right and I'm wrong, why are they still being killed? You see, what colonized Muslims don't tell you is the full picture, the holistic understanding of Islam. So you see, the Prophet, peace be upon him himself, had a greater dua than these colonized practicing apolitical Muslims, didn't he? His dua was far more listened to by God than these shoe shiners, let's call them. Well, in that case, why was the Prophet not allowed to just sit and do dua? Why did he go to battle? Why did so many people, his friends, die? The Sahaba die? I mean, after all, dua is the greatest weapon of the believer. All we can do is dua, brother. The Prophet wasn't allowed it, but they think that they're allowed it. I.e., ergo, meaning their dua is greater than the Prophet's himself. How stupid is that? Colonized Muslims will then use excuse number 2. Perfect yourself, brother. Why are you talking about Palestine? I didn't see you in the mosque at Fajr time. Palestine will never be free until you're in the mosque praying. Rubbish. Again, a completely moronic thing to say. Never, ever, ever did the Prophet say, allow your daughters to be buried alive, which was the oppression of their time. You just, go to the mosque and pray. Everything will be fine. If only you prayed, that daughter wouldn't be buried today. Rubbish. What I want you to do is to climb up a tall mountain, really, really big mountain. And then, when you're right at the top, imagine you're a swan. And you can fly, and you can fly, and run, and jump off that mountain. You can fly, you're a swan. There are other solutions out there from these colonized Muslims. I mean, they love this one. Go back to Islam, brother. If only we'd go back to Islam, everything would be okay. It's like going to the doctors and saying, doctor, I've broken my leg, and the doctor's saying, go back to being well. Go back to being well. If only you would go back to being well, everything would be all right. True, but not very helpful. Can you be more specific, doctor? So now, what that leaves is these colonized Muslims scratching their head with no real solutions, and political Muslims stepping into the vacuum and saying, what can we actually do practically from Britain right now, or for wherever you are if you're not in Palestine? 1. You can call the media. Right now, thousands upon thousands of Zionists are flooding media channels saying that their reporting is biased. So they only have one pressure coming from the Zionists. There is no pressure coming from the other way. Why not? There's 3 million Muslims in the UK, and yet they're still so incompetent due to the previous excuses that I gave that they couldn't take 2 minutes to pick the phone up, Google BBC, Google Sky News, Google whoever. Hi, I just want to make a complaint about your coverage. I think it's disgraceful. Can I have a log? Can I have a reference number? Who's the journalist? Can I speak to him? You won't let me? Well, will you make sure you pass on my message? Thank you. 5,000 calls later, they would listen. 2. Find out who your MP is. Google his name, find out his surgery phone number, call him, saying, what are you doing about the Palestine issue? Do not listen to the BS about, I want peace, both sides, circle of violence, trash that they currently are talking about. Simply ask him very simple questions that have a yes or no answer. Don't let them slip out of the middle, because they're experts at that. Do you or do you not condemn what Israel is doing to the Palestinians? I condemn both sides. No, wrong answer. If you say that again, well, guess what? I will not vote for you in the next election. And more than that, I will give out a few leaflets at the local mosque saying what your answer was. Do you want 10,000 people in your local area to know that you refuse to support the Palestinians? No, I didn't think so. Okay, yes, I condemn the Palestinians. Brilliant. Go meet your MP. Speak to him, give him a video, show him what is going on. Don't be a pacified Uncle Tom, haven't got a clue, colonised Muslim, can't think of what to do because he's too busy watching Game of Thrones. I mean, brilliant series though it is. I'm just saying, after Game of Thrones, actually before Game of Thrones, do a bit for the Palestinians. Go and meet your MP. Sit down with him and say, do you really know what's going on? Here's a book, here's some DVDs, let me email you some videos. Educate them, use your influence, pressure them. They're getting 60 to 100,000 pounds a year, and for what? Because you thick Muslims just vote Liberal, Liberal, Liberal. No, wrong. Make sure they work for you. 3. Right now, non-Muslims will be organising marches. Now, it's not the most effective way, but it is one way of bringing change. Now here's something. There are some Muslim organisations who will have their little logo on the banner, but in fact they probably would have done absolutely nothing. The most of the work, the bulk of the work, will have been done by non-Muslims, and that is a fact. In that case, then surely it's our duty to help. If they organise a march, turn up. It doesn't take rocket scientists to work out that if 100,000 people or 200,000 people turn up to a march, that people will start to realise that this is an issue in Britain. This is an issue that people care about. Show some solidarity. If they ask you to go, go. 4. Facebook. Don't use Facebook to post pictures of your dinner. Right now, millions of images are going around about what's happening in Gaza. When you post those images and share those images, you may think that's nothing, but in fact it's massive. And for this reason, when you turn on the television, the media are doing absolutely everything. The corporate media, the mainstream corporate media, is doing everything to show the Israeli side. But what they cannot do is to stop social media and people like you spreading a different version of events. When you show the images of what's happening in Palestine, what happens is that it conflicts with what the media are saying, and people start to hear that there's a different story. The Palestinians are the ones that are suffering. The Palestinians are the ones that are reacting, not the Israelis. There's no circle of violence. There's one-way violence against the Palestinians. A war machine is murdering and massacring innocent civilians. All of this can only get out when people like you use your social media to get this message out. Don't be a muppet. Use social media. It makes a difference. Last but not least, this is the most important thing you can do. It is not the specific actions I've given you just now. Most of you will never do that. And most of your friends will never do that. And there's a reason for that. You can't ask a person who is sleeping, unconscious, to do something. He will make excuses. He will give you reasons why it won't work. Oh brother, what's that going to do? Oh, it's all the kuffar. Nothing makes a difference. Because he's dead. He's asleep. He's unconscious. All these years he's defeated himself. What you need to do first and foremost, before you do any of those other actions, is to wake people up. Show them what is happening. Teach them their history. Teach them that they have a God-given obligation to fight against oppression as the priority, as the basic of Islam. When you make a Muslim conscious, when you make them politically awake, then they are willing to act. When all they are is colonized, apolitical, ritualistic Muslims, you can beg them and whip them, they will never do anything. So the first thing that you can do, the most important thing you need to do, is to wake the Muslims up that they need to do something. When they are politically awake, politically conscious, then they will act. So educate yourself and educate others. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you tune in to MPAC UK podcast that we'll be doing regularly. Join our Facebook page, like our Facebook page, share the images on there, wake people up. Thank you. Salam.